Happy Monday. Today on the show, you're going to hear me do a live coaching with actually one of my Instagram mastery girls. She wanted to come on the show for some live coaching and she needed her monthly coaching call with me. So I said, hey, let's just have you come on and we'll record your coaching session with me. So you guys are going to get a little sneak peek into my Instagram mastery coaching and what that looks like. Everybody that's in that group, it's a 6-month commitment. They not only get a weekly Monday training and my course, but they also get a monthly group coaching call, and then they get a monthly coaching call with me. That's a one-on-one, and we get to every month strategize their business, strategize where they're at, help them overcome obstacles along the way. And it's really fun and it's amazing. And they all have like this sisterhood and this collaboration together. So Erin came on the show today. You get to listen in. It's really fun. She's a network marketer that feels the pull to build her own brand, but she's also working a day job and she's just not sure about making the leap. So we talk a lot about that and making a pivot. So if that's anything that you can relate to, you're going to love this episode. If not, you're going to hear some great questions that help her overcome some fears and obstacles in the way that you will probably learn from too. Enjoy the show. Welcome Erin Anello to the show with her unicorn hair, which I'm super jealous of. She's got white blonde hair and the ends look pink to me. She says it's purple, but they look pink to me. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's probably just the lighting.
Well, welcome. Yay, I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Tell everybody who you are, what you do, where you live, all of that.
Okay, so I am actually from London, Ontario, Canada. I'm an RMT, so registered massage therapist. That's what I do full time. I've been an RMT for 9 years. I've also actually been in network marketing for 9 years, or social selling as we call it as well. And I'm looking into diving into some more entrepreneurial stuff like coaching and podcasting and things like that. So that's where my path is going now. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm married to my high school sweetheart and no kids, just fur babies.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it.
Oh my gosh. So you're doing all the things.
All the things.
What's your ultimate goal?
So ultimate goal is I would really like to be in total control of my schedule, work less, make more money, and retire my husband who works like literally so much. He gets up at 5 a.m., works all day, doesn't come home till 9. He works on the weekends. Like it's all work and no play for him basically. So I'd really like to retire him too.
What does he do?
He works in construction. So he's actually a carpenter by trade, but he does concrete, so curb and sidewalk.
Okay.
So hard physical labor and outside all day in the sun and all that jazz.
And they like never get weekends off and holidays.
No, that's like unheard of.
Okay. So how much would you like to be making a month?
Oh God, that's a good question. I would like it to be in the 6 figures on a monthly basis. And I know that to me at first, that seemed super audacious. But I know that it's possible. I mean, that's my goal. So that's what I'm working towards. And yeah, it's going to start at 5 figures probably and then work my way up. But even like 7, 8 figures, like, I mean, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
Hello.
6 figures a month. Girl, I am right there with you. First goal. And then it's going to be 6 figures a week. Right? Like we're going
even
there.
Better.
Yeah.
Even better. Count me in.
So tell me, what are you making right now? Or do you mind sharing that? Or like,
yeah, that's totally fine. So right now I'm 5 figures a month.
With which business?
So that's like basically all of them combined.
Okay. All of them combined. Now, You want to quit the massage therapist job though.
Here's the thing with massage. I would really like to actually take it down to 2 half days a week. Because I still want to help my clients. I still love what I do. It's not that I don't love it. It's just very taxing on my body. I'm making others feel good at the expense of my own pain, right? Because I take on other people's stuff. I mean, I have my own aches and pains, right? Just from doing what I do. 2 half days a week is my goal.
Why? Why do you feel the need to be the one to take care of your clients?
I don't know, because I still love it. Like it's not that I don't like it. It's sort of a double-edged sword, I guess. Well, because I make other people feel really good, that makes me feel good that I was able to help them. But then I also think too, like working with you, Joy, like I always have other ways of thinking of things, right? Compared to that like small-minded, right? Like one lens. So I kind of look back on that and go, well, other people can make them feel good too.
Well, and I would even say, like, why can't you make more people feel good in a way that's like less painful for you?
Correct.
Why does it have to be in a way that actually hurts you?
Correct. It doesn't.
So I think you're seeing it as like this outlet maybe right now that does give you that feeling. It sounds like maybe you don't feel that way with your network marketing team. Do you feel that way? Do you get that fulfillment from that?
You know what it is with network marketing? I originally joined network marketing for a totally different reason. So it was all about the money at first. I was in mountains, like boatloads of debt after I went to school. And so I was really looking for anything that would bring me like even $100 extra a month. So I did not, when I first started my network marketing business, think that I was going to be like making six figures right away. I just thought like, you know what, even if I made $600 a month, that was good for me. Right. But then it was more as I got into network marketing and I met people that were in network marketing and I just loved the people. So that's kind of what held me in network marketing was the people. It wasn't necessarily the product or the business or any of that. It was the people. I just wanted to be around the people. If that makes sense.
You're not feeling the sense of like, hey, I just made people feel good with that business.
No.
Okay. Which explains why it's been a struggle for you.
Correct.
Okay, so my question to you is, if you could do anything, if you weren't limited to massage being the way that you make people feel good, what would you do? If you, like, time and money didn't matter, what would you do?
I would do what you do. I would coach. 100%. There's not even a doubt in my mind. Because that, like, people tell me all the time, like, I always give such good advice. I'm so positive. I'm like such a light in people's lives. And that stuff comes naturally to me. I don't have to work to do that.
You have intuition.
Yes.
And intuition is the biggest part of coaching. So why haven't you?
I think part of the reason why I haven't done it yet is because I still feel like I have no coaching experience. And we've talked about this before, that you don't, like, I mean, you didn't have to have experience to ride a bike. You learn how to ride a bike.
Right.
Right? You learn by doing as well. But
hold on.
I don't know. I think it's still that imposter syndrome. Like, I still feel like I'm trying to be somebody that has no experience in that field. Meanwhile, massage to me is like a no-brainer. Like it's like, you know, I don't even have to think about it.
So how many people do you have on your network marketing team?
Currently working the business, 10.
And did you teach them how to build a business?
Yes.
Would you call that coaching?
Yes. So I know.
Why are you telling yourself that you have no experience when you've been leading a team and you've been coaching other women?
I know. It's so true. You nail it on the head when you say stuff like that. And you've told me this before.
Well, tell me, what's really the fear there? Because we got to face it or you're never going to get past it. What's the fear?
Maybe that I don't really know how to coach someone properly. I would probably say that's why.
You mean like having a method or having tools?
Yeah. Yeah.
So could you learn that?
Yes. I sure could.
So why not? Why haven't you?
That's right. Well, I guess I'm going to really look at that, Joy.
So, well, here's the thing. Nobody's ever going to call you up. Like my biggest aha moment for me was like, nobody's ever going to call me up to the table with the women that I look at and go, dang, I wish I was at their circle. Like, I wish I was at their table. I wish I was, and I realized nobody's going to call me up. I have to call myself up. And that means getting the knowledge I need, getting the methods I need, and then inviting myself basically to be part of things with them. And so you have a strong intuition that's telling you what you want to do. What is the fear really behind not following it? Because all of these things are things you can figure out.
Mm-hmm.
You could Google coaching methods, right? Like you wouldn't even have to look that hard. But there's a reason why you haven't. And I want to know what that is. What are you so afraid of if you succeed? If you do this and you actually start coaching, what are you afraid of losing?
Maybe that I'm going to lose my clientele, like my massage clientele. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's that I might lose both. Like I might lose both my clientele with massage and with my network marketing. Because people might look at that and go, oh, well, she's coaching now, so she's not doing the business anymore. Mm-hmm. Right? Or she's not an RMT anymore.
And what happens if you lose those things?
Well, I basically just lose that income stream and lose those people. Mm-hmm. Which is not the end of the world.
And then what?
See, I used to think that it was like maybe people wouldn't like me, but I don't really feel that way anymore. Like, I guess, well, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I care more about what I think.
Mm-hmm. Who are you afraid of losing? What people?
Well, I have a few clients that I love seeing them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So maybe that, like, I mean.
But you said specifically you were afraid people would think bad of you. Like who? Who are you thinking of? Friends? Family?
Not friends, because I have some pretty awesome friends. Yeah, maybe family, because there's that whole like, oh, you went to school and you spent $30,000 on, a course to, do something with your life and then you're not going to do it. What do you mean? Mm-hmm. But again, it's not like I've not made that money back tenfold over the 9 years. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Has that little voice been in the back of your head when you think?
Yeah, I would say there's always a little voice in the back of my head. They're all different, but there's always that like little voice somewhere, right?
Okay, so you paid $30,000 to invest in massage therapy, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. You
said you've made it back. So what's the hang up of letting that go? Is there a different fear there, or is there an obligation?
I kind of feel like, yeah, obligation would be a really good way to describe what I feel when I think about quitting massage. Mm-hmm. I never really thought of that word, but I do feel a certain obligation to my clients because they come to see me. Mm-hmm. Like I've offered for them to go see other people and they're like, no, I just want to stay with you. So not saying that that's bad, but it is what it is.
Who are you obliged to first and foremost?
Me.
Have you been living that way?
No. Mm-hmm. No, I haven't.
So probably little Erin doesn't even believe you because you haven't been showing up for her. Our confidence is so low when we don't keep our word to ourselves. When we know what we want to do, when we know what we should do, when we know what we really want to say and we don't say it and we stuff it and we're like, oh, I can just do this, whatever, for other people. And we constantly put other people first, that's the betrayer pattern in your life, right? Like it's an archetype, right, that we live out. And you've been showing up that way to yourself. And so then when you want to make a leap, like, oh, I know that I'm supposed to be a coach. You have that pull. I have that pull because you know that's what you're supposed to do. That's the highest version of you calling to you. You can't even follow through because the inside's like, yeah, right. You haven't even been showing up first. How are you going to show up in this?
So true. It's like that whole loving yourself first before you can love anyone else.
Mm-hmm. What would the highest version of you tell you right now?
That I can do that. I can do it.
Mm-hmm. What would she tell you about massage?
That's not the be all end all. And my clients are not going to hate me if I decide to retire from massage therapy.
If you start coaching, how many people do you think you could help in a year with coaching?
Oh my gosh, so many. So many.
And if you start a podcast, how many people do you think you could help?
Like millions.
Mm-hmm.
Bazillions.
With massage, how many people do you help?
25 to 30 people a week.
Mm-hmm. So how many people are missing out on your help because you're sticking to these 25 to 35?
Way more.
Mm-hmm. Who do you really have an obligation to?
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Lightbulb moment. Wow.
We forget that there are people literally out there waiting for us to step into our purpose. Literally, God already has it all planned, right? Like you've got people waiting for you that can only learn from you. They can only learn from your story. And when you know that you have that pull that you're supposed to do it and you don't do it, they miss out. And we sit here like, oh, but I can't, or, oh, but I need to help these people. And when you think about all the people that are missing out on your help, you realize it's kind of egotistical to stay in your like, oh, I can't mode because you're like, oh my God, like I'm supposed to be serving people here. It's not about me. It's about
them. Totally. It's like that's being selfless, not selfish. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I just have to say really quick, I was listening to the Monday training replay from yesterday. And when she was talking about, like, I literally thought about myself when, I forget her name, the blonde one, the legal one. She's talking about why she can't do her coaching with Kayla because her job. Mm-hmm. And I literally thought that of me. Like, I was like, I am saying those exact same things. And why can't I?
Mm-hmm. And whatever story we tell ourselves is the story that we find proof to back up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So why can't you? Let's go down this road.
Exactly. Why can't I? I can.
Okay. So what are you going to commit to on this call?
Okay. So I guess the first step would be to find a method of coaching that resonates with me and do my research on that. And I need to get my podcast up and running. I really, really want to get that done. I have like so many ideas and so many like content ideas, and just like, you should see my journal. It's like exploding. Mm-hmm. I'm still waiting on my equipment though, but I can use my phone to start anyways, I guess.
So pick a date that you can commit to with your podcast.
Okay.
Let's pick one right now. What can you commit to?
So today's September 1st.
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself 3 weeks.
Yeah.
To launch this. So by the end of September.
Okay.
Okay.
I launched mine last year in October. I think it was the end of October. So I totally get it. You can for sure do it. Okay. You're going to launch your podcast because this is where the rubber meets the road. By September 21st, it's a Monday, or 28th, it's a Monday.
Okay, let's do the 28th.
Okay.
September 28th, 2020.
Woo, woo. What's the name?
Well, here's the other thing. So do you have to secure a name for your podcast?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay, so I was thinking it would be called Say Less.
Ooh, I like it. Say Less with Erin Anello.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
I know we did your pillars on a call before. Where
Yes.
we really structured out how you would coach, what you would coach on. And they were all things that you could talk about, that you had experience in. You were going to help people build a business and do sales because you're really great at selling. Right?
Yep.
So
I don't know though if that now, like, just because I'm in such a different spot now than I was before I started with you, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the way I want to go.
Tell me.
Because yes, I'm good at selling, but that's not just what I want to focus on. I feel like I'm more meant to help people grow something that they already have, or find what they want to do. If they want to start a business, but they just don't know kind of where to start or what their niche is, that kind of thing.
So like newer entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That are starting a business.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. And you've helped over 10 plus women already do that.
Yes.
You're just telling yourself the story of, well, because it was Arbonne, I can't help them with other kinds of businesses. But there are so many network marketers out there. And network marketing is network marketing. Like, doesn't matter what company you're with.
Yeah.
It works the same. And you could help them with their business. You could be their mentor. You could be their coach. Have you thought about being a coach for network marketers?
I haven't, but just as you said that, I was like, oh, well, that's not a bad idea. Like, I mean, I'm in network marketing. I have been for 9 years.
Correct.
Right?
Amazing at sales. You've sold
Okay.
a ton. And you've done it as a side business, a true side business. I think that's a great idea.
The other thing I wanted to ask you really quick, I don't know if it's okay to ask you on this, but the IG Elite Academy.
Yeah.
So that's for coaching, yes?
It is.
For Instagram, to grow your Instagram?
I want to teach people how to teach Instagram. They could do it as a social media service, right? If they wanted to go that route of like, hey, I'll do people's social media for them. Or they could do it in a similar way to me, where they can take on clients that have businesses and don't know how to use the platform to generate more sales or to not feel spammy or slimy or pushy or things like that, right?
Yeah.
And I already had a couple of clients that were social media girls or Instagram coaches, or they wanted to be. They were realizing they wanted to be. And so I was like, why not certify people as an Instagram elite coach? One of my coaches, teach my methods, teach how I coach, and let them have tools in their toolbox to go start their own business, help their team if they're in network marketing, right? Because that's a huge part of network marketing. So I just decided, I was like, you know what? I feel like I should. So I just kind of threw it out there, and I have a whole bunch of people that want to do it. So I was like, well, this is what's wanted. So you could.
Amazing. Okay. So I'm going to write that down too, because I'm sure there's a place to like apply for it. Yes.
Yeah, I can chat with you afterwards. Anybody listening to the show, if you're interested, just go send me a DM on Instagram. Right now, I'm doing just a beta group, obviously, my first one. So it's beta pricing, which is nice. And it's going to be a little fast and furious because this first group, I want to get them through before October hits. So I'm like pre-recording all the training this week, but you could totally.
That's amazing.
I know, you could totally do it, and you could have your own coaching business by October, right? To go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, as soon as you said it, I was like, huh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we'll chat about that after. Now, the other question I had for you too is, because I am working right now and I don't have as many hours in the day as I did when we first started chatting, of course, because of COVID. I'm finding it a little challenging right now to structure my day that I want to focus on one thing, but then I keep getting bombarded with like all my own thoughts. And I'm like trying to focus on this one thing, but then I'm like, oh, I should focus on my podcast. And then I'm like, oh, I got to do my coaching stuff. And then, oh, I got to do this. And oh, I got to do Arbonne in there. And like, it's just throwing me for a loop. So do you have like a suggestion that I should I just focus on one and just keep like putting everything else on the back burner?
So what I like to do is time blocking and time batching. So for example, podcasting for me only happens on Tuesdays. So Tuesday,
I find a lot of people do their podcast on Tuesdays.
I think that's why everyone does it, because we're all collaborating together. So like Tuesday's my podcasting day. So I don't schedule it in for any other day. And then I have coaching several days a week, right? But only at specific times. So I have that blocked off. And then I have content creation times blocked off, right? And I have like whatever it is on certain days, certain times, so that every day it's not do all the things. Because that's what gets everybody in trouble, is every day I have to do all of it. Like, no, pick one day to do one thing, one day to do another, one day to do another, if that makes sense. You're probably still have massage every day, but all your other stuff, you could time block it and batch it. So it's not everything every day. That will help you immensely.
Okay. Because I do get up early just so that I can get like my own personal self-development stuff done before my day starts, just so that I can, tackle the day. But I could also like chunk some time out even after work for either doing that and do the business stuff in the morning, or reverse it kind of thing. But yeah, that's totally an option. Okay. Thank you. Sometimes you don't think about these things. You need somebody else, right?
Yes. Is it possible for you to cut down your massage hours right now?
Well, they already are being cut down because right now I can't actually work at 100% capacity because of all the cleaning and paperwork and stuff that's involved with COVID.
Yeah. So is it possible to cut it down even more, or no?
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, I make my own schedule. I could just be like, yeah, I don't have that time.
Correct. So what's holding you back with that?
Well, here's the thing, Joy. Here's the thing. So my schedule is already booked out 6 months in advance. People that, let's say, have already been waiting 2 months for their appointment, and then all of a sudden I decide, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to just take them out of my schedule. Then I just feel like I'm doing them a disservice. And I know I'm doing me a disservice by not honoring me. Especially now that we've talked about that, like even just hearing myself say it, I'm like, what the heck? Are you insane? I can do that. There's no excuse.
Are there other massage therapists they could get in with before anyways?
I don't know. Honestly, there's where I work anyways, all of us are super busy. But yes, there are other RMTs in London, Ontario, Canada. Like lots.
And is this like ruining someone's life if you say that you can't give them a massage?
No, I mean, they might tell me that, but no, it's not going to ruin somebody's life. Well, look at COVID. Like nobody could get massages through COVID. People survived.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So can you commit to cutting down your schedule? Because you're never going to go all in on yourself and your coaching business until you act like it's the priority.
That is so true, Joy. You literally, I wrote that in my journal today.
Woo! That was God. God's like, get it through your head, Erin.
I know, right? How long does it take?
Because I'm here to tell you that you could literally have a different life in 30 days.
I believe it.
And
it's just those stupid self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah, but that's what I want to know. Whose voice is that?
Well, it's definitely not big Erin's.
Correct.
it's definitely one of the childhood Erins, for sure.
So first of all, to talk to her and tell her what she's here. But second of all, that's why we play out the fear. That's why I'm like, okay, tell me what actually happens. Because sometimes we're so afraid of something because we haven't actually faced it and realized. What you haven't realized is you go and tell everybody, hey, like I can't be doing this many hours anymore. I'm going to start making time for my coaching practice. You make time for your coaching practice. What's the worst case that happens? By the end of September, you have a podcast. You probably are putting yourself out there for some new coaching clients. You're not as stressed. Maybe some people were upset, but like those are feelings. They're temporary. Can you live through that? Yes. Right? Yeah. You will feel more fulfilled because you know that you're following your intuition. Or you keep doing what you've been doing. You could probably still put a podcast out there. It's just going to take slower to build your business, your coaching business. 6 months from now, you can go all in and then blow up a coaching business. Either option is better than right now. You're already living your worst case scenario. Your worst case scenario is not ever starting the coaching business and staying living this life. Mm-hmm. And most of us think, oh, if I do this, something bad will happen. No, actually, both options are better than what you're in right now.
Yeah, but so true. It's so true.
It doesn't mean they're perfect, and it doesn't mean that it won't, be totally smooth. But both of them have things in it that you want more than you want to stay the same.
Amen, sister girl.
So I'm like, you're already living your worst case scenario. What's the worst that could happen? You're in it. But most of us forget that.
Well, you know what else I find really interesting too is because I listened to one of your podcasts just before I hopped on here. And you were talking about, is that actually the truth? Right? Like sometimes I think we just make up so much garbage in our heads that it's like, wait a second, is that actually what's going to happen?
Correct.
Like, is that actually the truth? Mm-hmm. And most of the time, it's not.
Correct.
So cool.
I'm excited for you. Big things are coming your way. Okay, so you're committing to a podcast by the end of September. What else are you going to commit to?
I'm committing to doing the work for the coaching, but I also think I should maybe give myself a deadline for that too.
Yes. So
right? Because then it's like, okay, I don't have any excuses. You got to do this. So I'm going to say for the coaching, I want to be like full on into coaching by, I would say the end of October.
Okay. What does full on into coaching mean? Let's break that down.
Well, I think I would like to do have my set days of coaching. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking maybe do my podcasts on Tuesdays, coach Wednesday, Thursdays. Mm-hmm.
How many clients do you want by the end of October?
Ooh.
Coaching clients.
I'm going to say 20.
I love it. That's a full.
And to me that seems low. But I know that it's like within my reach. And I mean, here's the other thing too. Like sometimes when you give yourself a low bar and you hit it, it's not as rewarding as when you set yourself a high bar and maybe don't hit it, but you get higher than your low bar.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say that's low in the coaching world because
okay. All right. 20 is good.
20 is amazing. Because remember, coaching is a little more intense. It requires energy from you in a different way. It's not physically taxing, but it is emotionally somewhat, And
I'm very familiar with that. Even with massage, I get that too.
Really? Yeah. And the price point is a lot different than massage. So that'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so 20 clients by the end of October.
Heck yes, girl.
Okay, so how many days are there in October? 31?
I believe
30?
so. Yeah.
I
My
kind of
question,
feel like I'm going to hurl right now, but
can you pick up your phone and put these dates in your calendar? Put these like commitments in your calendar right now for
yeah.
your podcast. Oh, you're on the phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on my phone. That's okay. I'll do it after.
Yeah. And then what's the biggest obstacle that's going to get in the way of this?
You know what? If I'm being really honest,
Mm-hmm.
it could potentially be my husband. And the reason I say that is because, so my husband has always been super supportive of anything I do, but he's also a huge realist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the dreamer, he's the realist, right? What I see happening is because my income with massage will get lower,
Mm-hmm.
he might kind of be like, well, why are you focusing so much energy on these things when this thing is what's bringing you money now? Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not far off from saying that, but again, that's not where my brain goes. It's just where his brain goes. Like, he doesn't have the same thought process that I do. We just differ that way.
What is reality?
In terms of,
Like, how do you know if it's actually reality or not? What makes reality for someone?
I guess, what they're living, like what they're currently living.
Mm-hmm.
And like my husband, like I said, he's a super hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, I could put in that many hours that he puts into his work, and like I would like literally be dead. Like, I could not put that many hours in. But if I put half those hours into, let's say, coaching or, my podcast,
Mm-hmm.
I know that I could be like making way more money and working way less.
What makes someone's reality different than someone else's?
Maybe their beliefs. Like, are you talking like actual tangible things?
What makes like Kayla's reality different than yours? Or like, I don't know, think of someone like that you'd like to be like, or that whose business you would like to have. Because realists like to tell us what reality is, but reality is that everyone's reality is different. There is no one reality, right? Or we would all be living the same exact way with the same exact life. So what makes someone's reality different than someone else's?
Them, that person.
And how? How do they make it different?
How they see it, how they think it's going to be, how their actions they take.
Mm-hmm. And we can only take certain actions because of what we believe and what we're looking for. So what I'm getting to is that our lens is what creates our reality. Because the eyes only see and the ears only hear what the brain is already looking for. So when your husband wants to tell you what reality is, well, his eyes are only seeing and his ears are only hearing what his brain is already looking for. He's looking through his own lens.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right or wrong. It's just his lens. But does that make it true for you?
No.
Correct.
No.
That's why it's interesting when people are like, I'm a realist. I'm like, what does that even mean? Because we should all be living the same exact life then.
Mm-hmm.
If reality is so real, we should all be living the same exact life, but we're not.
Exactly.
And that's because different people choose to claim a different reality.
Yeah, that's it. That's a really good way to put it.
Mm-hmm. And we claim it in our mind first. So when he says this to you, what will you say?
Let me make my own reality, damn it. No, I've had this conversation with him so many times. So, like, I mean, he always ends up seeing it my way.
Okay.
But it's always that, like, initial, like, pushback, that initial resistance that's like, well, what if? Like, what if it doesn't work? Okay, well, what if it does?
Correct. So what would it look like for you to initiate this conversation instead of waiting for it to happen?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. I can do that.
And what can you ask for that you would need from him while you make this happen?
Patience.
Mm-hmm. But tell him specifically what that looks like and sounds like.
Okay.
Because sometimes we just need to have the foresight to know what's going to come and take the steps to take care of that. Like if you know that that's going to be a hang up for you, awesome. What can you do to take care of that before you even get started?
Okay. I can definitely do that. Might need a glass of wine, but
You could totally do it. Or maybe he needs one. I don't know. Anything else that would be your biggest obstacle for this?
no, because I mean, really, just even doing work with you and totally changing the lens I look through things, talking to my passengers, all that stuff, journaling, like meditating, visualizing, all of those things, that's really, really helped me grow past the, like, I'm not enough, right? Because really that was probably my biggest obstacle before, right? I don't necessarily feel that that's the way it is now because I know I'm worth it and I know I can do it. Yeah, I would definitely say that's the biggest one that's going to come up because it always is. It's the same all the time.
I want you to put sticky notes like all over your house and your car and like everything that say like your podcast name and the date it's coming out and your 20 clients that are coming your way. And I want you to write down like what happens when you help those 20 people. Like why is that going to be such a good thing? So that you can find this everywhere and be constantly reminding yourself like this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, and your brain will look for evidence for that.
So sticky notes, podcast name, 20 clients, how it's helping them, what it's helping them with.
Yeah.
Initiate the conversation and what it's going to look like with my husband.
Ask for what you need.
Yeah. And dates.
Woo! I am so excited for you. Your life's about to turn upside down. You're also, did you write down and like cut back your schedule?
Yes.
Okay,
yep,
good.
that's here. Yep. In my like chicken scratch.
Yeah, that's great. Scratch to me. I'm so excited for you. Your life's about to change, girlfriend.
Well, you know what, Joy? You've been a big part of that. And I thank you for that so much. I'm so grateful. And so if anybody's listening to this, sign up with Joy because she's amazing. She'll change your life.
Or sign up with Erin. Now we've got
or me
here.
When I'm ready.
Because Erin's a badass network marketer and she can teach anybody how to rock network marketing. So
thank you so much.
Who do you need to be on social media right now to start attracting those clients? So that would be one thing I want you to think about and start putting yourself out there on social media. Use the pillars we talked about. Like even if you're not going to sign somebody yet, just use those pillars to start advertising the knowledge you have, right? Like start solving their problems today. That's what makes you an expert to someone, and that's what shows them they want to work with you.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on the show and being willing to have your session recorded to let everybody hear and for your vulnerability. And everybody should go look up Erin Anello and work with her because she already is a coach. I've already seen that in you. She's just deciding to let that out.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad I could be vulnerable and share some of me with your audience.
Yes. All right, everybody, go have an awesome day. If you loved it, take a screenshot, tag us on your stories. We would love to hear from you and hear what your biggest takeaway was. And for sure, when Erin announces her podcast, you'll have to go listen to her because she's going to have some bomb tips. All right, have a great day.